Hi, welcome to Centerville Reports Today. I'm Maureen Russell Hodson. Centerville is known as a community of volunteers, and the City of Centerville has several volunteer opportunities for folks to become involved. Here to tell us more, we have two council members, Joanne Rao and John Beals, and thank you both for being here.
Oh, thank you for asking us.
And I know you're both longtime volunteers, and there's something that, a lot of benefits that you get from volunteering, but I think a lot of people don't realize that you can actually volunteer for your city, for your community. So we have several volunteer opportunities that we're going to talk about today to give people an idea of maybe what their interests might be and how those might match up with the city. So we should talk about first, we have 300 volunteers serving the city of Centerville. It's pretty incredible.
That is incredible, yes.
The thing I find interesting about volunteering for the city is the learning aspect of the individual as being part of that committee. You know, like City Beautiful, and you get around your other committee members, and you're learning things about the city and that you didn't know of. And the Sister City Committee is one that's very near and dear to my heart. And again, and of course, let alone meeting people from another city and the things you learn from how they handle affairs in their city and public improvements and so on. It's just, and then of course your fellow members then too, that you can spin off. It just works out great.
Well, and the thing about Centerville is, of course, we have elected officials and appointed staff people, but then we have a lot of volunteers who are helping make things go. So let's talk about some of them. We have really two departments, I guess, of volunteers, because we have civic volunteers, which are citizens who work side by side. Every day they come in, they work in city departments, really during business hours. And then we have citizens who serve on boards and commissions, and those are the folks who are council appointed, and really those meetings would be in the evening and scheduled or as needed. And today what we're going to talk about are those boards and commissions, because right now we have some opportunities for people to get involved. This is a great way to learn about your community, right?
Absolutely, and a great way to make friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what amazes me about, you know, when I participate in an event that a commission is working on, how friendly they are and how open they are, not only to new members, but to the council members, the staff, and just how tight those friendships get.
And every council member is a liaison to one of our boards and commissions.
Yes.
Right.
So let's talk to one that's near and dear to your heart.
Sure,
is,
sure.
City Beautiful.
City Beautiful, absolutely. And it's a lovely organization. We are in need of members. Normally we divide the city up in about 7 different districts, and if you've ever been around the city and you've seen the flags and the City Beautiful stones, these are what the City Beautiful members do, along with some other activities. They get out, they look at the city, and they look for properties that they want to get an award to. So it's nice to have at least 7 members. We're actually down to 6 at the moment.
Oh boy,
so it would be really nice, and 14's even better, because
right.
then you could have 2 people go out in each one of those districts. If you don't garden anymore, maybe you did in your youth, now you're in an apartment, we'd still love to see you join our commission. If you have just an interest in plants, whether you're or not you are a master gardener, or if you've actually gone through that process, or you just like beautiful things, you like beautiful yards, and you want to get out and meet your neighbors, this is a great opportunity.
And some of the other things that they do, I know, on like this coming up March 9th, they'll have the gardening seminar.
That's right.
Shade gardening this
That's
time,
right. They set that up and arrange it. It's a seminar that lasts about 45 minutes. They usually put together some little gift baskets, and it's just a fun, free event for the city and anybody else who wants to attend.
And you learn so much. I know people come with notebooks. They are ready to take notes because there's so much information that's shared.
They do, and they, like I said, they're very enjoyable. I enjoy going. I learn a lot each time. Something to take back home to your own yard.
So that's called the City Beautiful Commission. And John, we'll talk. We'll segue to you, because Sister City is something that you're really interested in, right?
Yeah, the Sister City, and of course we have lost our Sister City in Waterloo, Ontario, and we've so very often visited them, or they visited us, that it somewhat wore out the relationship, and I personally had always hoped that perhaps it would cycle back. But now we're looking very strongly for a French-speaking Canadian city, which would make a fairly quick trip for high school students that are studying French to be able to relate to students in that city. And we're starting to learn that there are French-speaking high schools in English-speaking cities, like in Ontario, which is so very close to us, Toronto, et cetera, that there are English-speaking communities, which are maybe 70% English speakers, but the high school is a French-speaking high school. And so anyway, the committee is looking very strongly at trying to do something there. And of course, our longtime sister city in Bad Wittenau, Germany, has worked out very, very well. The interesting thing there is that we normally think of adult exchanges.
Right.
The adults come over, and that's, by the way, that's on a 6-year alternative. So every 3 years, one of us goes one direction, but it's every 6 years that Centerville people would go to Germany. And that spacing has been very important, because otherwise you tend to wear out the friendships, you might say, when you get close. But the key thing there has been the growth in the student exchanges. And we have a program called GAP, G-A-P-P, which does a certain amount of funding through the federal government for the German-American student exchanges. And so in 2020, next year at this time, the German students, how it works is that the German students come here during our March break that week, and they usually spend the best part of 2 weeks here, going to school some of that time and seeing activities and whatever else our Mind Valley has to offer. Then at the conclusion of school is when the Centerville students go there. And of course, we're a little more relaxed on time frame, so they're there, the fully the 2 weeks, and they stay with the same family that family member had stayed with them. So that relationship between students sometimes gets pretty friendly.
Yeah.
and
the sister city is very involved with those exchanges, and when we host as well, right?
Very, very key to it all. Yeah.
Okay, so those are two of our committees. We also have the Arts Commission, and Arts Commission does a lot of great stuff as well.
They're fabulous. They're all over the place.
I can say yes, they are, because now I'm their liaison. So, but you're talking about the summer concert series, Art at the Trace, really anything that's arts related. Again, you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a musician, you just have to be someone who wants to share the arts with people. Let's talk about if somebody, let's say we're interested in one of the three that we've already talked about, they simply need to complete an application, right?
Yes, they complete an application. I believe they get a background check, so they should be aware of that, a light background check. And the city council will interview them, which is a grueling process.
Right, that's we've heard.
Truly, it's a fun process.
Well,
it's an opportunity for the council to meet them and talk to them a little bit about why they want to be on the council.
The individual does need to be 18 or older to be among the coming, and then also they need to be a city of Centerville resident.
Right.
So those are two aspects that the viewing office needs to know.
And really a good thing to do is you can go on our website, centervilleohio.gov, and you can read about the various boards and commissions, and you can always call us at 433-7151 to get more information about specific boards. And we'll give you more as we continue through the program. But it's really something that if something piques your interest, I know you started on Planning Commission, right?
I did. Arts Board of Architectural Review was my first.
Okay.
Yeah, was my first volunteer for the city position.
And probably at that time had no designs to run for council. You were just looking
to
be
not
a volunteer.
No, not at all. That was so far outside of my norm.
Developed her interest there.
Yeah. And I think that's probably something true. When you get involved, you start to learn more about how your city operates, and you start to meet some of the key people who are decision makers, and that's really helps you get a good grasp on your own city.
Absolutely. But many of these commissions are truly ways to give to the city that are just enjoyable and enhance our city in so many ways, like the concerts at Stubbs Park. They're just so enjoyable for so many people that aren't even necessarily part of the city themselves. And
thousands. We welcome 18,000 over the summer.
That's right.
We need to bring out the individual in the city that receives these applications, and the person that your viewing office should be contacting. Karen Andrews. Karen is clerk of council, and she handles the committees. And so someone in the viewing office that would like to take part, that is the individual.
You can give her a call, or also our website would be a good place to download an application as well.
One thing I think we should emphasize, though, and I strongly encourage if somebody's interested in a commission or a committee, that they actually attend one of the meetings first. And it's a way to find out if this is really, where you would be best placed. Maybe it would be a different committee than the one you're first interested in before you fill out an application and meet some of the members that are there. So that's one of the things I strongly encourage.
Yeah, because you really find out, is this a good fit for me?
Right.
What I see on paper, is that what it translates to in a committee meeting, something like that. And all of the committees and boards, for the most part, meet once a month, some two times a month, but a good place to go for that, again, would be our website, centervilleohio.gov. You can also look on the back of your town crier. That's listed there as well, or you can call us for more information about those meetings. But let's talk about some of the other boards that are looking for members. And I guess, John, this is a great segue for you. Stormwater Review is looking for some members as well.
Yes, and we really need additional members, and we'd like to find members that are focused in each quadrant of the city. So as we meet, and generally it's in the fall of the year, and we're meeting with the Public Works team and the city engineer, and we're looking over what problems, and to have individuals that are bringing in questions or concerns of their various neighborhoods, and that we can generally cover all of Centerville that way is just great. It allows us all to have a give and take, and there's been some small problems that's come up from people like that we've gotten solved in the next week of time, and they've gotten back to me and how impressed they are with our committee because they can see action has taken place. And I think another point that needs to be made here is the variety of experience that we're asking volunteers to have. Obviously, they're not going to have experience in all these things that we've been speaking of, but if they have experience in one of those areas, and we've not even mentioned the financial aspects, the tax appeals, and those types of committees, that we have a need for volunteers that have talents in a specific area and not in all these areas. We're not going to ask one person to try to cover all
If you
these.
have the interest and some talent and some time, we want to talk to you, right? I mean, because I'm sure we'll find a place for you. Because as we said, not only do we have the boards and commissions, but also we have civic volunteers. And I think that's really true for anything. If anyone has a question or concern, our council is open. You want to talk to our citizens.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to hear from you, and whether you're a commission member or not, we'd love to hear from you.
Right.
But certainly if something comes up during, and often does in the committee meetings that I participate in, and I can take them back to council, take them back to city manager, and we can talk about some of those issues.
And that's a helpful way to keep a direct line, too.
Yes.
With
The
you
things
as well.
we learn from the volunteers who, and another set of eyes out there. And we have a lot of volunteers in the city right now, and we just need a few more.
Right, right. And we're saying kind of some specific areas, but again, let's review. We know that Personnel Appeals Board, you said,
Yes.
and CRA, which is a community reinvestment housing.
Yes, we need that one.
Sister City,
Yep.
City Beautiful, and Arts Commission. So those are just, if you're interested in any of those areas, we also have on the screen right now other volunteer boards that we have. Certainly, as we've been mentioning, any interest that you might have, we probably have a board, a commission, or some type of volunteer position for that. So I know it's the goal of our city to get more and more citizens involved. And if you've enjoyed a summer concert, or if you've gone to the gardening seminar, if you've come to a city council meeting, maybe something's piqued your interest, you can certainly go to a board or commission meeting to find out more.
Come find out more.
Marina, remind us what all do the civic volunteers do?
Civic volunteers are in every community office that we have. They are side by side. We have them in the police department. We have couriers. We have folks who are greeting people. We have a huge program at the golf club at Yankee Trace. So lots of volunteer opportunities for you. And really, it's just a matter of how much time that you want to give to the city.
The town crier mailings, I think, is very key to them too, and getting them out into the mail.
Well, we had a huge group that used to do that, but now actually we're not using volunteers for that. That's okay, because we had a great group, and we're all still a great group of friends from that.
Funny.
Anything else that you would tell someone who might be interested in volunteering?
I would just say go to a meeting. That's the first thing. Call and find out when the meetings are being held. Go to an event. Go to Steps Park. Go to, during a concert. You'll see City Council or City Beautiful Commission planting flowers at the Four Corners, or weeding. That's a program. Come and talk to us. If you see us out and about, by all means, come and talk to us.
I was going to say, even like Tuesday night at the arts reception we had. When
That's
you see a
right.
council member, feel free to approach a council member, a staff member, or any volunteer, because we will certainly be glad to share more information about volunteer opportunities. Thank you both so much for talking about all the great things we have going on. For more information, you can call the City of Centerville at 433-7151 or visit our website, centervilleohio.gov. That's going to do it for this show. We'll see you next time.